Hello and welcome to Toad Rolls Dice, where we're going to take a look at Kill Team, because Typhon is soon to be gracing our tables. It's going for pre-order on Saturday. I don't know if it's late, if it's early. It feels like it's about right. I just feel like it was previewed almost, 2-3 months ago now? It's far too long between reveal and, well, yeah, the date's actually there, isn't it? 27th of March. So 2.5 months ago, and then nothing. It just went quiet. That's far too long. So that's maybe why we haven't had a reveal show for a while, because they're kind of struggling, maybe? I don't know. But there is some big stuff coming, so they're getting Kill Team out of the way now. This should be... Is this box 3? I think this is expansion 3 for the Volcus Arena Battle Zone. Sorry, should use the correct terminology, shouldn't we? So I feel like it's this box, and then later on in the year, whatever reveal, however it's done, will be a new season of Kill Team. So this might be the end of Volcus as we know it. I'm torn on this box before we get into it. I'm not a massive fan of Mech in general, and the Servitor models. I don't know, I'm not that sold on them. The Tyranids, Raveners, I think they're a cool enemy to fight in Space Marine 2. I absolutely hate them. But like I say, they're good fun. I'm just not a Tyranids player. The thing is, I can see myself using them as NPCs in a Kill Team campaign. I can see myself using the terrain. I would like the book and all the narrative stuff that comes in it. So I'm probably going to try and pick up this box if I can. It all depends on the price, which I don't know yet. I have a feeling, I think I've seen something. I don't actually know how much this box is going to be. It's all going to depend on price on Saturday and if I'm able to get one. This is, for me, the weakest Kill Team box that we've had, but I also think that this is 2 units that are very 40k focused, which doesn't usually bode well for Kill Team, but it makes it really popular for 40k players. And having seen their 40k rules for both of these units, they're pretty good, so who knows. But let's get into this one. We're taking a look at Kill Team with Mountainside Tabletop as they dig into the rules for the Raveners and Battleclade. Raveners and Servitors are about to do battle in Kill Team Typhon, so to whet your appetite, we got in touch with Brad and Vic from Mountainside Tabletop to find out what they make of this new expansion. I don't know Mountainside Tabletop. I don't think I've seen... I'm guessing it's a channel? Yeah, YouTube channel. I'm going to tag it in the description below. Shout out to Brad and Vic from Mountainside Tabletop, and yeah, I'm going to check them out. We'll have a little look. If you're not familiar with them either and you're into the Kill Team stuff, have a look at them. YouTube is a wonderful place for people to share content. I look at it as, I make this kind of content, there's loads of other people that make this kind of content. Why should we be fighting against each other? I suppose that's easy to say when you've got 200 and some subscribers compared to whatever else the other channels have. But I kind of like the community vibe, and I hope that that comes through from my videos. So I'm always happy to shout out, obviously they're working with Games Workshop, so they're much bigger than me. But I'm always happy to shout out other channels and things. So check out Mountainside Tabletop, but let's see what these guys think about this expansion. Kill Team Typhon is nearly here, and this new expansion brings 2 teams with extremely different playstyles. The Raveners asked the question, how are you going to deal with 101 wounds worth of tunneling monsters? That's not a question I want to answer. Although, take Space Marines, they can shoot twice. To which the Battleclade Servitors reply, beep, beep, boop, beep, boop. I don't speak binary. Both of these teams in Kill Team Typhon represent an aggressive departure from any playstyles we've seen before. As such, both will take time to master, but will be extremely rewarding if you can orchestrate and execute the plans that make them tick. Okay, that is an amazing shot. Raveners. I think this image here has just sold me on the terrain and the Raveners. I go for things because they look cool. Why do you think I'm doing Space Wolves? I should do a Space Wolves Kill Team. But yeah, that looks... With the Tyranid terrain coming out with the Volcus stuff at the... Yes. Yes. I'm sold. I want this box. Let's keep that picture on, shall we? Tyranids have finally burst into Kill Team. Oh god, it's their first proper Kill Team, isn't it? With our first 5 operative team. While they offer a massive toolbox of tricks, their 5-up saves make them stand out among the other elites in the game by giving their opponent an incentive to take them on in a firefight. They will take wounds, but with a high octane mix of mobility and melee, they can fight battles on their own terms. So 5 models, 101 wounds. Every model has 20 wounds except the Alpha, which I think is this guy? No, it might be that guy, who will have 1 extra wound. 5-up save, but 20 wounds? That's a bit gross. Depending on how much AP they have, that's Custody levels. I think that's more than Custodies, actually. although Custodes had a much better save. Faction rules, high stakes whack-a-mole. The Raveners boast an impressive trio of faction rules, which allow them to claim an ever-growing chunk of the battlefield, while challenging their opponent to do something about it. The tunnel is a path you carve across the battlefield. In each turning point, a tunnel can extend up to 5 inches, meaning it can comfortably probe deep into the battlefield. Burrow is the action that lets the team pop in and out of the tunnel, which comes at the expense of 2 inches of movement and 1 AP, but the team have 3 AP and 7 inches of movement. Oof, so it's well worth the trade-off. Yeah, I would agree at that. You can just burn an AP to do Burrow, and it knocks you down to 7 inches of movement, but you're also hidden. Sorry, 5 inches of movement, but you're also probably hidden. This team sounds a bit gross already, doesn't it? Burrow, 1 AP. If this operative is underground, set it up on your tunnel in a location it can be placed. It's no longer underground, and it can be set up within control range of enemy operatives. Oof. Until the end of the activation/counteraction, subtract 2 inches from its movement stat. Alternatively, instead of resolving the above effect, if the operative is in the kill zone and on your tunnel, remove it from the kill zone. It's now underground, going underground. An operative cannot perform this action while carrying a marker. So they can carry markers, but they can't do this. So this is an example of a tunnel. In this example, operative A is on your tunnel as it's on the area between markers 0 and 1. Operative B is also on your tunnel as it's touching one of your tunnel markers, so you get tunnel markers, okay. Operative C is not on your tunnel as markers 1 and 3 are not sequential. Oh, okay. So the area between these markers is not part of your tunnel. So you make sequential zigzag, or sequential lines but make a zigzag. So this is actually going to be, you're going to have to place it very tactically and think where you want to go in 5-inch increments, aren't you? Okay, this is going to be an interesting team to learn. Predatory Instincts ties it all together. Along with providing Raveners the ability to fight twice per activation, it allows them to change their order and burrow for free during counteracts. Oh god. Just think. A Ravener charges 9 inches to tie up a couple of operatives, dispatches them in melee, survives 1 retaliation shot, and then as a counteract, because they're a 5-man kill team, so they're probably going to be counteracting all the time, he gets to shoot back and hop underground again. Nasty stuff. This team's going to be gross, isn't it? So, key operative, the Venom Spitter, APL 3, move 7 inch, 5 up save, 20 wounds. Yep. We have a variety of ranged attacks and then scything talons. So ranged attack 1, pincer tail, 4 attacks, hits on 3s, damage 3/4, range 3 inches, silent. Venom bolt blast, 4 attacks, hits on 3s, damage 3/5, range 8, blast 2 inches, poison. We can go over poison in a minute. Or Venom Bolt focused, 4 attacks, hits on 3s, 4/5 damage, range 8 inches, piercing 1, and poison. Scything Talons, 5 attacks, this is the melee one. 5 attacks, hits on 3s, damage 4/5, no other traits. I believe this is the only operative that has a shooting attack, unless they all have the pincer tail thing. I'm not sure. But obviously you're going to be in close. With 20 wounds you can afford to get in close, I think. Yeah, it sounds brutal, but I don't actually know if it is. Because like they've said, they are going to take wounds. So poison, in the resolve attack dice step, if you inflict damage with any critical successes, the operative this weapon is being used against gains 1 of your poison tokens if it doesn't already have one. Whenever an operative that has 1 of your poison tokens is activated, inflict D3 damage on it. It's like the Vespids radiation thing, but on the model instead of in an area. Yeah, it's only this operative. I'm guaranteeing you that it is just this one operative that can do that, but that's pretty gross. We also have the Distended Dorsal Sac for 1 AP. Until this operative has shot with its Venom Bolt, or until it performs the Burrow action, whichever comes first, all profiles of its Venom Bolt have the lethal 5-up weapon rule and have 1 added to their attack stat and the range 8-inch weapon rule removed. So you pop Dorsal Sac with any one of your APL, as long as you don't burrow, the next time that you shoot your Venom Blast, you can shoot anywhere, and it's lethal 5-up, and it's 5 attacks. So at that point, I suppose it depends what you're up against. There's still an argument for blast 2 inch, but you'd probably go focused and you'd probably try and just hammer someone with piercing 1. But that is probably the only shooting action that this team is going to have. So while that all sounds pretty gross, I don't know how gross it's going to be. Although all of the Raveners are highly capable, the Venom Spitter stands out as one of the most important pieces of the team. On top of solid melee output, its ranged attack is an absolute killer. Paired with the Distend Dorsal Sack ability, the Venom Bolt is one of the best all-round guns in the game. And since the rest of the team's ranged attacks cap out at 6-inch range and 4 damage, the Venom Spitter will be an essential tool for board control. So they do get 6-inch ranged attack, but with 4 damage maximum. You're going to want to get these guys in close. Burrow everything, get them in close, pop up, just wipe the floor with whatever you're against. These are going to be horrible to fight. Standout ploy, Writhe Out of Sight. Select one friendly Ravener operative. That friendly operative can immediately perform a free burrow action. If it's within 2 inches of your tunnel, it can immediately perform a free fallback or reposition action before it does so. Movement shenanigans. This is one of those ploys that will be the difference between winning and losing games, as it lets the team either hide a vulnerable operative or stage an explosive first activation. The beautiful utility of this ploy is that it is equally useful whether you win or lose the initiative. If your opponent wins, you don't need to wait for that melter shot against your biggest threat, as long as you stay near enough to your tunnel. Yeah. There's going to be a few of these ploys like this, isn't there? That's all about keeping the team alive. Surprisingly, but not disgustingly, resilient. Even with 20 wounds each, a 5-up save leaves the Raveners vulnerable to high volume fire and chip damage. I agree. But there are a few ways to balance this out. Tunnel Lurkers is a strategy ploy that pairs extremely well with Chromatospore camouflage equipment. All of a sudden, 5-up saves aren't so bad while you're retaining 2 before rolling any dice. Oh, that's gross. This combo does assume that the operative is standing on their tunnel, but most of the team's utility requires that anyway. Yeah, you're going to want to keep them on your tunnel. Other noteworthy biomass, the Terror Scythe. So yeah, that's not the leader, that's the Terror Scythe. I think that's really cool. Yeah, I think the Terror Scythe is a cool model. I actually think all of the Hyper Sense ones are really cool. So the Terror Scythe is a nasty piece of board control, as you can keep the Raveners underground to maintain the threat of an outrageous charge and interrupt any enemy foolish enough to stay close to the tunnel. Don't underestimate the length of the tunnel either. In a straight line, you can get well into enemy territory by the late game. This team may struggle for board presence in the early game and can suffer if they lose an operative early, but all of the tunnel synergy and explosiveness in combat will be enough to turn the tide in a lot of battles. You're really going to have to figure out how you use tunnel and how you position your operatives and how you want to attack, maneuver, control objectives against your opponent with this team. It sounds like it's a team that needs somebody smarter than me to run it properly, but it sounds also like there's a lot of fun stuff in here, which is cool. Over to the Battleclade. Yeah, I still think the Tyranids look cooler. Although this kill team, the Battleclade, I think the Raveners will work as well, but the Battleclade would be amazing in Necromunda Hive Secundus. Just throwing that out there for a custom gang. The Battleclade pairs impressive firepower with radical flexibility in a deep toolbox. You are the Omnissiah's will. In control of a small army of insentient servitors whose strings you can pull to outwit your opponent and surprise even the cagiest kill team veterans. Although most of your operatives only have move 5-inch, there are ways to speed them up, but you'll still require a solid plan to be able to pilot them well. The payoff of a well-executed game plan is immensely satisfying and can devastate an opponent before they have a chance to meaningfully react. Faction rules, lots of threats everywhere. Although there is only one faction rule, the Battleclade's Noospheric network, Noospheric? I'm going Noospheric, is more than enough to give the team tactical edge and totally unique identity. The 8 servitors can each spend 1 AP to allow a fellow servitor to network counteract, performing a 1 AP action for free with some restriction. I think you're going to need a bigger brain than mine to run this team as well. I'm already getting that feel. This turns the team into an unpredictable nightmare. Its seemingly dormant servitors suddenly awaken to unleash a devastating attack, perform a key action, or change their order to alter the state of the battlefield. An important part of this team's power comes from the fact that their opponent will be chasing ghosts the whole game. Never sure where the next attack is coming from, they'll be forced to prepare and react to unexpected threats, potentially leaving themselves open to a catastrophic attack. Key operative, the Servitor Underseer. Battleclade Servitor Underseer, 3 APL. He is basically the leader, I think, or one of the 2 leaders. 6-inch move, 3 up save, only 9 wounds. We have a ranged weapon and a melee weapon, so the ranged, mastercrafted radiant pistol, 4 attacks, hits on 3s, 2/4 damage, range 8, balanced and rending. Melee weapon, data spikes, 3 attacks, hits on 5s, 2/3 damage. Not that good in melee then. 2 abilities, the first one is the Noospheric Spur, 1 AP, support, select 1 friendly Battleclade Servitor operative within 6 inches of either this unit or a friendly Battleclade Auto Proxy operative to immediately perform a free dash action. You cannot select each friendly Servitor operative for this rule more than once per turning point. This operative cannot perform this action while within control range of an enemy operative. And Network Override for 1 AP, again support, select 1 friendly Battleclade Servitor operative within 6 inches of either this operative or a Battleclade Auto Proxy operative to immediately network counteract. You don't have to transfer power to do so. Continue this operative's activation after doing so. This operative cannot perform this action while within control range of an enemy operative. So Noospheric Spur is a free dash within 6 inches of that unit or an auto proxy, which I'm guessing will be a token, which is, it's good movement, isn't it? Let's be honest. And Network Override is that free AP thing for another operative. This is going to be another team that you're really going to have to think about where you position and how you use these pieces while keeping your Underseer alive as long as possible. Unlike most other high synergy teams, Heretic Circle, Sanctifiers and Warp Coven come to mind, the Battleclade doesn't get its instructions from the leader, but instead the Servitor Underseer. Their Network Override action lets one of the Servitors do a network counteraction, which can be followed up with the Noospheric Spur action, jump back into safety to avoid a retaliation. Honourable mention goes to the Auto Proxy Servitor, who fills the assistant to the assistant role by acting as a conduit for the Underseer's support. So maybe it's not a token, maybe it's another Servitor. Standout ploy Noospheric Possession. It's a support ploy. Whenever a friendly Battleclade Servitor operative is within 6 inches of a friendly Battleclade Auto Proxy or Battleclade Servitor Underseer operative, that friendly Servitor's operative's weapons have the Accurate 1 weapon rule. For the purposes of this support rule and the comms device equipment, the Auto Proxy or Servitor Underseer operative must control your comms device marker to add 3 inches to its distance required for this rule. Okay, so actually maybe comms is going to come into play a little bit then. I do like that they address comms and whatever's going to interact with it in the ploy itself. That's clearer rules writing. A new ploy that will likely come up in most games is Noospheric Possession. It gives a shooting boost to operatives close to the Servitor Underseer and Auto Proxy Servitor in the form of Accurate 1. The strongest guns on this team all hit on 4+, so extra accuracy is a big deal. Since it has the support designation, the comms device universal equipment can boost its range to 9 inches, potentially giving a huge chunk of your team a buff. I do like that they're thinking about rules and equipment and giving you a reason to run universal equipment for a change. An outlier among the collective, the Techno-Archaeologist. I think this is quite a cool model actually. I'm not a huge fan of AdMech, as you guys probably know. I do quite like that model. One of the most compelling aspects of the team is the role of the Techno-Archaeologist. This tech priest leads the team to battle, but other than having the leader keyword, they're very much working independently outside the network of other operatives. They're capable of keeping themselves safe, scoring their own points, and dealing plenty of damage when they need to. Interesting. Like a lone operative rogue element in the kill team? That's kind of cool, just send them off on their own. I kind of want to see all the rules for these now. They actually sound really quite smart to play. Other pieces of scrap code. Duty of Reclamation. Once per action, you can use the command reroll Fight or Fight ploy for 0 CP if the attack or defend dice was rolled for a friendly Battleclade operative that contests an objective marker or one of your mission markers, and Neurocyclic Reserve Cells. After revealing this equipment option, roll 1d3. A number of times during the battle equal to the result. Whenever you transfer power, you can use this rule. If you do, don't subtract 1 from the operative's APL stat. but it cannot perform fight or shoot actions during that activation. This takes precedence over the normal Noospheric network rules. So that's a potential free APL, for anything that isn't fight or shoot. But it's limited to D3. Yeah, okay. Let's see what it says about it, but that sounds like it's going to need more explaining to me. Duty of Reclamation is a great ploy to help those of us who like to spend too much time on command rerolls, while Neurocyclic Reserve Cells is a potentially great piece of faction equipment, though the inherent randomness of relying on a single D3 roll at the beginning of the game can make it extremely swingy. Due to the number of support rules, comms device seems like an auto-include piece of universal equipment as you're ever going to see. In summary, overall, Typhon brings two long-awaited and beloved teams to Kill Team. With them is a well-stocked kill zone supplement that sets the stage for a characterful series of battles amongst the growing tendrils of a Tyranid infestation. Plus, 6 new NPO data cards expand the ever-growing list of resources for joint-ups, which we love. Yes, joint-ups is the one thing that I really want to focus on with Kill Team. That narrative side. Kill Team as a game is just really good fun, but the joint ops stuff is something I really want to dive into, and extra stuff for joint ops, that's why I want the book. Both teams exemplify our favourite parts of this game. They're thematic, with rules and mechanics that bring their lore presence to life on the tabletop. They also have loads of tricks and counterplay, which will keep players on the edge of their seats during both theirs and their opponents' turns. The Tyranids have been subject of much speculation and anticipation, and it feels appropriate that the biggest outliers in the galaxy bring a radically new team construction to the game. The Mech of the Hunterclade was my first kill team in 2021, and although I still love playing games with them, I can't wait to get the Battleclade on the table and experience a wildly different form of skirmish combat. Thanks for the in-depth analysis. You can pre-order Kill Team Typhon this weekend and put these tips into practice yourself. So first up, big shout out to the guys over at Mountainside Tabletop for giving us this breakdown. I know that WarCom likes to get the community involved and do this stuff. Usually they're very good articles and it gives you an insight while being limited to what WarCom is happy for you to know. This one reads pretty well, and they've gone over the two teams in just enough detail, I think, to captivate people. They've given you an idea of how they're going to play, but not much more. But it's a very good article. It has me intrigued about the box, which I wasn't feeling about before I started recording this video, as I'm sure you guys probably realised. This sounds very good, and I'm actually looking at it as the NIDS side of the box would be brilliant for doing joint ops, narrative campaigns, things like that. Same with the scenery, like I said at the start. I've got a few other Tyranid bits, like models and things that I can pull in to make it like quite a narrative idea for a Kill Team campaign. But actually the Battleclade will also have a place in that, because Servitors are a huge thing in not just the Mech, but the Imperium as a whole. And a rogue archaeotech, or techno-archaeologist, just running around doing his own thing. Maybe you have some sort of campaign with him being hunted by some sort of Inquisition, or he's hunting some Xenos stuff, or there's quite a lot of themey things that you can do with that. This sounds really cool. The one thing that I will say, I think that these teams, to play at a decent level, will hurt my brain. But that picture has sold me on the Tyranids. I still love the Goremongers. I really do want to get a Space Marine kill team up and running as well. Now I've got Space Wolves. I think I'm going to look to kit bash one of those, and that'll be part of the channel in the coming however long. What I really need to do is find the time to just sit and paint, get some terrain done, get a kill team board ready to go, because I'm so behind on what I wanted to be painting. I've been really struggling to paint recently. I say recently, last 3 months. Which is a real problem when you want to start doing battle reports, but you've not got enough stuff. So yeah, hopefully, I mean, all of this has just been really delayed, but hopefully that's going to come in the future. And this stuff sounds really interesting, and I want to know more about the rules. While it's going to hurt my brain, and I will probably end up like a servitor trying to understand it, the Battleclade actually sounds quite an intriguing kill team. And both these teams do sound like they're going to bring a different way to look at the tabletop, positioning and how to use these teams, which adds extra elements to Kill Team and extra ways for people to play and flex their might and really get a feel for these individual factions. It's nice to hear that they're very narrative. Nice to hear that they, while not easy to master, they have quite a high potential and could be very successful in the right hands. All of this sounds very good. I'm annoyed that it sounds so good because now I want the box, but that's just how it goes. I hope that we do get some more Kill Team stuff. These articles are usually dropped on a Friday, end of the week, after they've done other previews, but this is a fairly in-depth. But this giving us operative cards makes me think that maybe we're just going to get one Kill Team article this week, which will be a shame. And it doesn't say anything about any more articles coming. I'd like something on the joint ops though. They really need to big up the joint ops side of things. So maybe we will get something. If we do, we'll cover it, absolutely. Yeah, Kill Team may be back. We'll see. Is this enough to get me invested in making a Tyranid style, Tyranid ravaged board with all of this cool new scenery? Fingers crossed if I'm able to pick one up. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do either of these teams sound like they're something that you would enjoy playing? And have you heard enough to get you excited or more excited about the box? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.